দিলে কি সতে প্রিয়তম মোরা, এ মন পরাণ বন্ধারে সজনী, এ নন পরাণ বন্ধারে সজনী, তাଙ୍କରି সোহাগ প্রেম ডোরিরে, তাଙ୍କରି সোহাগ প্রেম ডোরিরে, ମୋ ନାମ ଜୁରେ ବଇଁଶୀର ସୁରେ, ମୋ ନାମ ଜୁରେ କହିଦେ ମୋତେ କି ବୁଦ୍ଧି କରିବି, କହିଦେ ମୋତେ କି ବୁଦ୍ଧି କରିବି, ବନ୍ଧୁ ପଦ ତଳେ କି ମଧୁ ଢାଳିବି, ବନ୍ଧୁ ପଦ ତଳେ କି ମଧୁ ଢାଳିବି, ତିଳେ କିଛି ଉଣା ହୋଇଗଲେ ପରା, ତିଳେ କିଛି ଉଣା ହୋଇଗଲେ ପରା, ରସରାଜ ଋଷି ବସିବେ ଦୂରେ, ରସରାଜ ଋଷି ବସିବେ ଦୂରେ, ବଇଁଶୀର ସୁରେ ମୋ ନାମ ଜୁରେ, ବଇଁଶୀର ସୁରେ ମୋ ନାମ ଜୁରେ, ଭଲ ପାଆନ୍ତି ସେ ଶୁଭ ଦିନ ବାସ, ଭଲ ପାଆନ୍ତି ସେ ଶୁଭ ଦିନ ବାସ, ସଜ ସେ ଫାଳିର ସାଇତା ସୁବାସ, ସଜ ସେ ଫାଳିର ସାଇତା ସୁବାସ, ଶରଧା ଥାଳିରେ ସୁଆଦ ପରସା, ଶରଧା ଥାଳିରେ ସୁଆଦ ପରସା, ସୁଅନ୍ତି କଅଁଳ ଫୁଲ ସେଜରେ, ସୁଅନ୍ତି କଅଁଳ ଫୁଲ ସେଜରେ, ବଇଁଶୀର ସୁରେ ମୋ ନାମ ଜୁରେ, ବଇଁଶୀର ସୁରେ ମୋ ନାମ ଜୁରେ, ଆସିଲେ ଦେବେ ସେ ନୂଆ ନୂଆ ପ୍ରୀତି, ଆସିଲେ ଦେବେ ସେ ନୂଆ ନୂଆ ପ୍ରୀତି, ଜଗତରେ ଯାହା କେହି ନ ଜାଣନ୍ତି, ଜଗତରେ ଯାହା କେହି ନ ଜାଣନ୍ତି, ଧୂଳି ଲାଗିଛି ଏ ଧରା ପିରତିରେ, ଧୂଳି ଲାଗିଛି ଏ ଧରା ପିରତିରେ, ପୂଜିବି ତାଙ୍କୁ ମୁଁ ତାଙ୍କ ପ୍ରେମରେ, ପୂଜିବି ତାଙ୍କୁ ମୁଁ ତାଙ୍କ ପ୍ରେମରେ, ବଇଁଶୀର ସୁରେ ମୋ ନାମ ଜୁରେ, ବଇଁଶୀର ସୁରେ ମୋ ନାମ ଜୁରେ, ଏରେ ଦରଦିଆ କିଏ ଲୋ ସଜনী, ଏରେ ଦରଦିଆ କିଏ ଲୋ ସଜনী, ବଇଁଶୀର ସୁରେ ମୋ ନାମ ଜୁରେ, 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 କାହିଁ के जानी से ही सुर सुनी, कहीं के जानी से ही सुर सुनी, मोर में विरह घरे, मोर में विरह घरे, बंशीर सुरे मो नाम जुरे, बंशीर सुरे मो नाम जुरे, बंशीर सुरे मो नाम जुरे। भव बंधन मोचन पूजा बर गुणहीन शेष गुणाधिपति, भव भीरु जाने सत तंबरदाम प्रणमामि गुरुं शिवकल्पतरुं प्रणमामि गुरुं शिवकल्पतरुं।
जयगुरु। हे मोरा जीवन बंधु, हे मोरा जीवन बंधु, हे मोरा जीवन बंधु, हे मोरा जीवन बंधु, निखिल सृष्टिरा अमृतमयी, निखिल सृष्टिरा अमृतमयी, चेतनर आदि बिंदु, चेतनर आदि बिंदु, हे मोर जीवन बंधु, हे मोर जीवन बंधु, हे मोर जीवन बंधु, हे मोर जीवन बंधु। सत्यलोक पारे नित्य जगत रे, सत्यलोक पारे नित्य जगत रे, विराजित तू में ज्योतिर्मय पूरे, विराजित तू में ज्योतिर्मय पूरे, तुम्हें है करुणा सिंधु, तुम्हें है करुणा सिंधु, हे मोरा जीवन बंधु, हे मोरा जीवन बंधु, हे मोरा जीवन बंधु हे मोर जीवन बंधु हे मोर जीवन बंधु भावराई जर भावर ठाकुर भावराई जर भावर ठाकुर भव जीवन को भावमय कर भव जीवन को भावमय कर मागे तब प्रीति मधु मागे तब प्रीति मधु हे मोर जीवन बंधु हे मोर जीवन बंधु निगमर सीना तुमे निराकार निगमर सीना तुमे निराकार मो लागी तुमे सगुण साकार मो लागी तुमे सगुण साकार तुमे मो पूर्णिमा इंदो तुमे मो पूर्णिमा इंदो हे मोर जीवन बंधु हे मोर जीवन बंधु हे मोर जीवन बंधु हे मोर जीवन बंधु तुम शुभ शंख शुणी बीज दीना तुम शुभ शंख शुणी बीज दीना जानी से ही मो मुक्ति लगाना जानी से ही मो मुक्ति लगाना हसी बीमु तीन बंधु हसी बीमु तीन बंधु हे मोर जीवन बंधु हे मोर जीवन बंधु हे मोर जीवन बंधु हे मोर जीवन बंधु निखिल सृष्टिरा अमृतमयी निखिल सृष्टिरा अमृतमयी चेतनर आदि बिंदु चेतनर आदि बिंदु हे मोर जीवन बंधु हे मोर जीवन बंधु हे मोर जीवन बंधु हे मोर जीवन बंधु हे मोर जीवन बंधु।
Jayaguru, Nigama Upadesha, page 22, Real Sannyasa. Total renunciation is sannyasa. Abhimanam, Turapanam, Gauravam, Rauravam, Dhruvam, Satishtha, Sukaribistha, Trayam, Chakya, Harim Bhajet. The sadhana bhajana or spiritual practice and loud chanting of God's name can be performed only when ego is forsaken as wine, pride as hell of Raurava, and status as faces of pig. Otherwise, there will be no result in the show of external aspects of spiritualism like robes or practice of asana or eating or fasting or speech or imitation in the absence of real ones. Mahatma Kabir had said, मुंड मुड़ाए जत रखे मस्त फिरे जैसे भैंसा खिलाड़ी ऊपर खाक लगाए मन जैसे तो तैसा. What is the use of shaving the head or keeping the matted hair or smearing the body with ashes or in some such attire and outfit if one has not accomplished the purification of mind? Jayaguru.
Jayaguru. Nilachal Saraswata Sangha Puri, America Saraswata Sangha, 933rd Sangha Puja Session Report. Date 11/3/2024, Sunday. Time 7:15 a.m. to 11:55 a.m. Eastern. Padya, Pratisha, Rasmi Chaudhary Ma, Sangmitra Ma. Attendance. The link to the attendance sheet is available on AMSAS website. Adhivasa Puja, 11/2/2024. Adhivasa Puja was held at NSM from 7 to 8 p.m. Gyanabhai led the reading of Leela Prasanga, Part 5, page 436. The session was concluded with Vidaya Pratna, Jayaguru Nama Kirtana, and closing of Asana. Morning session, 7:15 a.m. to 8:45 a.m. The morning session of the puja started at 7:15 a.m. with Pratikya. Anjali Ma sang Phulo Diye Hui Phuti Chi Thakura, or Rasmi Chaudhary Ma sang Mano Puja Taro Viphola Rajibo songs. During that time, all the devotees joined the puja at Nigama Smriti Mandira or via telephone conference. Sanjit Bhai offered Puja Archana and Aarti to Sri Thakur Maharaj. Smita Bhai Ma led Bande Guru Charana and Shroto Bandana. After Shroto Bandana, Pallavi Ma read Sri Guru Gita, Shloka 104. Praja Bhai led Parche Patra Pratna, Sabrani Pratna, and Bhakta Nivas Nirmana Pratna. Padma Ma read Sangha Sevaka 9th year, Part 4, Bandana, Pratana and Pratna Karinka Prati. Sangvitra Ma invited Shri Thakur Maharaj for Bhoga Nivedana and to attend the second session. The first session was concluded with Jayaguru Mahanama Kirtana. Malya Bhoga was offered to Sri Thakur Maharaj. All bhaktas were served with prasad. Second session, 9:45 a.m. to 11:55 p.m. The second session of the puja started at 9:45 a.m. with Pratikya. Shivani Ma sang Aso Hai Aso Prarano Isho, and Melu Ma sang Moro Me Borucho Moro Me Thakura songs. Asana was opened with Bhava Vandana Muchana Pratna Gano. Puja Ma sang Premoro Thakura Gano Poro Boro Vandana song. Kalpana Ma led Parche Patra Pratna. Udita Ma sang Vishwapati Pranama. Subhashini Ma read Nigama Updesh, page 21, Danger of Hypocrisy. Ashwini Bhai read the last Sangha Puja report. Aradhana Ma read Pancha Sannyasini Sistya, page 191 to 195. Shreya Ma sang Motte Tumhari Duare Bhikari Koricha, Pratna Sangita. Sangmitra Ma read Sansara Pathe, part 1 summary. Prajabhai led the question answer session and shared about there is no point of offering prayer if your mind is not in it. There are 5 stages of our mind: Muddha, Kishpata, Vikshipta, Ekagra, Nirodha. He also pointed out the difference of having Ekagra state for researchers and scientists and households walking in the path of Nivritti Marga. Srijama sang Charana Tumhare Soragu body, Shreya Ma led the YS session about light and dark. Pratisha, Rashmi Chaudhary Ma and Sanghavitra Ma offered their Bhava Vinimay. Rashmi Chaudhary Ma invited Sri Sri Thakura for Bhogu and evening puja. Pratisha and Gurudas Pai invited Sri Sri Thakura for the next Sangha Puja session. Rashmi Chaudhary Ma prayed for forgiveness on behalf of all the Padiyas. The session was concluded with Vidaya Pratna, Dayamaya Sri Charane song by Sukanya Ma. Asana was closed with Jayaguru Nama Kirtana and Pranama. Madhyana Bhoga was offered to Sri Sri Thakura, followed by Prasada Sevan by all Bhais, Bhakmas and young aspirants. Sri Sri Thakura, Charlashrita, Pratisha, Rashmi Chaudhary Ma, Sanghavitra Ma. Jayaguru.
Jayaguru, Nirajwara Thakur Nigamananda. ଏହାପରେ ମରଦେହର ଠାକୁର ଆହୁରି 6 ବର୍ଷ ଥିଲେ। ଛାତି ବ୍ୟଥା ଆଉ ହୋଇନାହିଁ କି ମାଙ୍କର ସାକ୍ଷାତ ଆଉ ମିଳିନାହିଁ। ତିଳ ତିଳ କରି ସବୁଥିରୁ ତାଙ୍କ ମନ ବିଚ୍ଛିନ୍ନ ହୋଇଯାଇଛି। ବିଶ୍ୱ ସଂସାର ବିରସ ହୋଇଯାଇଛି। ସାଧନାରେ ଠାକୁରଙ୍କ ଚିତ୍ତ ଏକତା କଠୋର ନିର୍ମମ ହୋଇଯାଇଥିଲା। ଏକଥା ସେ ନିଜେ କହିଛନ୍ତି। ଆକାଶ ସମ ତାଙ୍କ ଶୂନ୍ୟ ହୃଦୟରେ ପ୍ରେମ ସାଧନାରେ ଭାବର ଇନ୍ଦ୍ରଧନୁ ଫୁଟି ଉଠିଥିଲା। ନିଖିଳ ବିଶ୍ୱ ସେହି ରଙ୍ଗରେ ରଙ୍ଗାୟିତ ହୋଇଯାଇଥିଲା। ଏହା ମଧ୍ୟ ତାଙ୍କ ମୁଖରୁ ଶୁଣା। ଜଗତର ପ୍ରତି ପରମାଣୁରେ ଆନନ୍ଦମୟୀଙ୍କୁ ପ୍ରତ୍ୟକ୍ଷ କରି 2 ହାତରେ ସେ ସବୁକୁ ଛାତିରେ କୁଣ୍ଢାଇ ଧରିଥିଲେ। ମହାମାୟୀ ଅତି ନିଜ ଲୋକ ଭାବରେ ତାଙ୍କ ନିକଟରେ ଅନୁକ୍ଷଣ ବିରାଜିତ ଥିଲେ। ସେହି ଆନନ୍ଦରେ ଅପୁରନ୍ତ କର୍ମଜାଲରେ ମୁକ୍ତ ପୁରୁଷ ନିଜକୁ ଆବଦ୍ଧ କରିଥିଲେ। ଶୁଣିଛି ଗ୍ରୀଷ୍ମ ବୋଧ ହେଲେ ମା ତାଙ୍କ ପାଖକୁ ଆସି ବ୍ୟଞ୍ଜନ କରନ୍ତି। କୌଣସି ଗୋଟିଏ ଭାବନାରେ ରାତ୍ରିରେ ନିଦ୍ରା ନହେଲେ ସେ ଆସି ତାର ସମାଧାନ କରିଦିଅନ୍ତି। ଥରେ ଜଣେ ଶିଷ୍ୟ ପାଇଁ ଗୋଟିଏ ଅବଧୂତିକ ଔଷଧର ବ୍ୟବସ୍ଥା କରିବାକୁ ଥାଏ, କିନ୍ତୁ ଗୋଟିଏ ଉପକରଣର ନାମ କୌଣସି ପ୍ରକାରେ ତାଙ୍କର ମନେ ପଡୁନଥାଏ। ଠିକ୍ ସେତିକି ବେଳେ ଉପସ୍ଥିତ ହୋଇ ସଙ୍କଟ ମୋଚନ ନିମିତ୍ତ ଉପକରଣର ନାମ ମୋସମ୍ବୀର ବୋଲି କହିଦେଇ ଗଲେ। ଭକ୍ତ କଣ ମିଛରେ ଭଗବାନଙ୍କର ନାମ ଭକ୍ତ ବତ୍ସଳ ବୋଲି ଦେଇଛନ୍ତି? କେତେ ସାମାନ୍ୟ କାରଣରେ ଯେ ମାହେଶ୍ୱରୀ ଉତ୍ତଳା ହୋଇଯାଆନ୍ତି, ସେହି ଅବିଶ୍ୱାସ୍ୟ କଥା ଠାକୁରଙ୍କ ମୁଖରୁ ଶୁଣି ସ୍ତମ୍ଭିତ ହେବାକୁ ପଡେ। କିନ୍ତୁ ତାଙ୍କ ଜୀବନଯାତ୍ରାର ନିତ୍ୟ ସହଚାରିଣୀ ମନ ପ୍ରସାଦନକାରୀ ସେହି ଆନନ୍ଦମୟୀ ଶିଷ୍ୟ ଭକ୍ତମାନଙ୍କୁ କିନ୍ତୁ ତାଙ୍କ ଜୀବନଯାତ୍ରାର ନିତ୍ୟ ସହଚାରିଣୀ ମନ ପ୍ରସାଦନକାରୀ ସେହି ଆନନ୍ଦମୟୀ ଶିଷ୍ୟ ଭକ୍ତମାନଙ୍କୁ ସେ ସୁଖ ପାଆନ୍ତି। ଏହି ଅନୁଯୋଗରେ ଏଥର ଏ ଜନ୍ମ ପାଇଁ ଅଦୃଶ୍ୟ ହେଲେ। ତାପରେ କଣ ସଂସାର ଆଉ କୌଣସି ବସ୍ତୁରେ ମନେ ରହେ? ଠାକୁରଙ୍କୁ ତ୍ରିଭୁବନ ଶୂନ୍ୟବୋଧ ହେଲା। ନିରାଲମ୍ବ ନିରାନନ୍ଦ ଜୀବନ କେବଳ କାର୍ଯ୍ୟ ମିତ୍ୟବେ ଭାବନାରେ ଦିନ ଯାପନ ଅବଶିଷ୍ଟ 6 ବର୍ଷ ତାଙ୍କର ଏହି ଭାବରେ ବିତି ଯାଇଥିଲା। 1338 ସାଲ ଖଣ୍ଡିଏ ଦେଖିବେ ଏହାର ଆଭାସ ମିଳେ। ବାହାରେ କଠୋର କର୍ମୀ ସାଜରେ ସଜ୍ଜିତ ହୋଇ କେତେଗୁଡିଏ ବାଳକଙ୍କ ସହିତ କର୍ତ୍ତବ୍ୟ କରିଯାଉଛି। ସେ ଆନନ୍ଦ ଆଉ ବାହାରେ ପ୍ରକାଶ ପାଉନାହିଁ। ବାର୍ଦ୍ଧକ୍ୟ ନିଜର ସମସ୍ତ ଶକ୍ତି ଖଟାଇ ଆକ୍ରମଣ କଲାଣି। ଚିଠି 2:58। ସଦାନନ୍ଦ ହୋଇ ମଧ୍ୟ ସେ ସମ୍ପୂର୍ଣ୍ଣ ରୂପେ ଆନନ୍ଦ ହରାଇଥିଲେ। ମା ମଧ୍ୟ ପ୍ରଶ୍ନ କରନ୍ତି, ମାଙ୍କର ସାକ୍ଷାତ କଣ ଆଉ ପାଉନାହାନ୍ତି ଠାକୁର? ବିଷଣ୍ଣ ସ୍ୱରରେ ସେ ଉତ୍ତର କରନ୍ତି, ନା, ମୋର ଆନନ୍ଦ ବୋଲି କିଛି ଆଉ ସେ ରଖି ନାହିଁ। ଇଚ୍ଛା ମାତ୍ରକେ ତାର ଆଉ ସାକ୍ଷାତ ମିଳୁନାହିଁ। ସେଇ ଦାର୍ଜିଲିଂର ଆଉ ଦିନକର ଘଟଣା। ରାଜା ସାହେବ ଅଧିକାଂଶ ସମୟରେ ନୂଆ ନୂଆ ରେକର୍ଡ ଆଣି ନିଜେ ଗ୍ରାମଫୋନ ବଜାଇ ଠାକୁରଙ୍କୁ ଶୁଣାନ୍ତି। ଅଧିକନ୍ତୁ ସମସ୍ତ ଗ୍ରାମଫୋନ ରେକର୍ଡ ଅବସର ସମୟରେ ଠାକୁର ନିଜ ପସନ୍ଦ ଯୋଗ୍ୟ ଗୀତ ଶୁଣିବେ, ଏହି ଇଚ୍ଛାରେ ମା ମାନଙ୍କ ଜିମାରେ ରଖି ଦେଇଯାଆନ୍ତି। ସେଦିନ ସନ୍ଧ୍ୟା ସମୟ କି କଣ ମନେ ନାହିଁ, ମା ମାନେ ରେକର୍ଡ ବଜାଉଥାନ୍ତି। ରେକର୍ଡ ବାଜିଲା ବେଳେ ଖଣ୍ଡିଏ କୀର୍ତ୍ତନ ରେକର୍ଡ ମିଳିବାରୁ ମା ମାନେ ଅତି ଆଗ୍ରହରେ ତାହାକୁ ଡିସ୍କରେ ଚଢାଇ ଦେଲେ। ରାଇ ଅନାଦର ହେରି ରସିକ ବର ଅଭିମାନ କଲ ପୟାନ। ଏହା ଗୋବିନ୍ଦ ଦାସଙ୍କ ପଦ। ତାହାର ଅର୍ଥ ଖଣ୍ଡିତା ଶ୍ରୀମତୀ କୁଞ୍ଜରୁ ଗୋପୀବଲ୍ଲଭଙ୍କୁ ବିଦାୟ କରି ଦେଇଛନ୍ତି। ହରି ହରି ଯାଇ ମାଧବ ଯାଇ, ତୁମେ ଫେରିଯାଅ ମାଧବ କହିଛନ୍ତି। আর না হেরিব ও কাল বয়ান, এখানে রইলে কেন। ଶ୍ରୀମତୀ ପ୍ରତ୍ୟାଖ୍ୟାନରେ ରସରାଜଙ୍କୁ 10 ଦିଗ ଅନ୍ଧାର ଦେଖାଗଲା। ଅଭିମାନରେ କୁଞ୍ଜ ତ୍ୟାଗ କରି କୃଷ୍ଣ ପଥରେ ପାଦ ଦେଇଛନ୍ତି, କିନ୍ତୁ ପାଦ ଯେ ଚଳୁନାହିଁ। বলে আমি কোথায় বা যাবরে, আমায় রাই যদি মিলে না। নয়ন চলিলে পথ লখাই না পারই, পিতবাস মুছই বয়ান। ভেসে গেল আহা নয়ন জলে, নীলগিরি ভেসে গেল। ପଦାବଳୀର କାନ୍ତ ପଦରେ ସମାହିତ ଚିତ୍ତା ମା ମାନେ ଚମକି ଉଠିଲେ। ସତେ ଯେପରି କିଏ କାନ୍ଦୁଛି। ପଛକୁ ଅନାଇ ସେମାନେ ହତବାକ୍। ତକିଆରେ ମୁହଁ ଗୁଞ୍ଜି ତାଙ୍କରି ଠାକୁର କଇଁ କଇଁ ହୋଇ କାନ୍ଦୁଛନ୍ତି। ହିମଗିରି ସଦୃଶ ଉତ୍ତୁଙ୍ଗ ଗୁରୁ ଗୌରବ କଠିନତ ଗାମ୍ଭୀର୍ଯ୍ୟ ଓ ମର୍ଯ୍ୟାଦାର ଶିଳାଖଣ୍ଡ ଖରସ୍ରୋତରେ ଭସାଇ ନେଇ ଚାଲିଛି ସୁରଧ୍ୱନି ଧାରା। পিতবাসে মুছই বয়ান, কেউ দেখতে বলে আমি নাগর হায় কান্দিলাম। এই দেখতে বলে পিতবাস মুছই বয়ান। হরি হরি নিজ অপরাধ নাহি জান, কিছুই বুঝতে নারিলাম। কিসেরে লেগে মান, কিছুই বুঝতে নারিলাম। সোহেন প্রেমময়ী গঠিলা কো নিরদয়ে, কাহে করল মুঝে মান। নয়ন সলিলে পথ লখাই ন পারই, পিতবাস মুছই ବୟାନ। କଣ ମୋର ଅପରାଧ ମୁଁ ଜାଣେ ନାହିଁ। ତା ଭଳି ପ୍ରେମମୟୀ କେଉଁ ଅଭିମାନରେ ମୋ ପ୍ରତି ନିଶ୍ଚୟ ହେଲା, କେହି କହିଦିଅନ୍ତି କି? ଅଭାଗିନୀ ଚନ୍ଦ୍ରାକୁ ଦିନେ କୃପା କରିଥିଲେ, ତାହା ବିଚାରରେ ଏହା କଣ ଏପରି ଅମାର୍ଜନୀୟ ଅପରାଧ? ମାଙ୍କ ମୁଖରେ ବର୍ଣ୍ଣନା ଶୁଣି ଆଜି ମଧ୍ୟ ଗୋବିନ୍ଦ ଦାସଙ୍କର ସେହି ପଦ ମନେ ପଡ଼ିଲା ମାତ୍ରେ ଦେଖିବାକୁ ପାଏ ପୁରୁଷୋତ୍ତମ ତାଙ୍କ ପୁରୁଷାଭିମାନ ବିସର୍ଜନ ଦେଇ ସର୍ବହେରା ପରି କ୍ରନ୍ଦନ କରୁଛନ୍ତି। আমি কোথায় বা যাবরে, আমায় রাই যদি মিলে না। নয়ন সলিলে পথ লখাই না পারই, পিতবাস মুছই বয়ান। ଏ ରସ ସିଦ୍ଧାନ୍ତ ବେଦାନ୍ତ ସାର। ଯେଉଁଥିପାଇଁ ଠାକୁରଙ୍କୁ ଦାର୍ଜିଲିଂରେ ଧରି ରଖାଯାଇଥିଲା, ଅବଶେଷରେ ସେହିଦିନ ଉପସ୍ଥିତ ହେଲା ଆଷାଢ଼ ମାସ। ରାତ୍ରି ଶେଷ ପ୍ରହର ଠାରୁ ମସ୍ ଷ୍ଟାଣ୍ଡ ଭିତରକୁ ଡାକ୍ତର ନର୍ସଙ୍କର ଯାତାୟାତ ଚାଲିଛି। ରାଣୀଙ୍କ ପ୍ରସବ ସମୟ ଆଗତ ପ୍ରାୟ। ବୋଧହୁଏ ସେତେବେଳେ ବେଳ 10ଟା ହେବ। ଏତେ ଦିନ ପରେ ଆଉ ସଠିକ ଭାବରେ ମନେ ପଡୁନାହିଁ। ତଥାପି ମନେ ହୁଏ ଦିନବେଳା ହେବ। ଦିନଟା ମଧ୍ୟ ଭଲ ଥିଲା। ଅନ୍ୟ ଦିନ ଭଳି ମେଘ କୁହୁଡ଼ି ସୃଷ୍ଟିର ଦୌରାତ୍ମ୍ୟ ନଥିଲା। ଆଲୋକ ଭରା ଶୁଖିଲା ପାଗ। ଆକାଶରେ ମେଘ ଥିଲେ ମଧ୍ୟ ଦାର୍ଜିଲିଂ ପକ୍ଷରେ ଏଭଳି ପାଗ ଦୁର୍ଲଭ। ଆନନ୍ଦ କଳରବ ମଧ୍ୟରେ ଜୟବାଜ୍ୟର ଘୋଷିତ ହେଲା। ନବଜାତକର আগমନ ବସ୍ତ୍ର ରାଜ୍ୟ ଭାବି ଉତ୍ତରାଧିକାରୀ ଭୂମିଷ୍ଠ ହୋଇଅଛି। ରାଜଦମ୍ପତିଙ୍କର ଆଶା ପୂର୍ଣ୍ଣ ହୋଇଛି। ପ୍ରଫୁଲ୍ଲ କୁମାରୀ ଏଥର ଗୋଟିଏ ପୁତ୍ର ସନ୍ତାନ ପ୍ରସବ କରିଛନ୍ତି। ଏହି ପୁତ୍ର ସନ୍ତାନ ହିଁ ବସ୍ତ୍ରର ରାଜ୍ୟର ଜ୍ୟେଷ୍ଠ ରାଜକୁମାର ପ୍ରବୀର ଚନ୍ଦ୍ର ଭଞ୍ଜଦେଓ। ପରେ ବସ୍ତ୍ରର ମହାରାଜ ସ୍ୱାଧୀନ ଭାରତରେ ବସ୍ତ୍ରର ଭୂତପୂର୍ବ ରାଜା ପ୍ରବୀରଙ୍କର ନାମ ସୁପରିଚିତ। କିନ୍ତୁ ଯେତେ ନିନ୍ଦା ଶୁଣେ ନା କାହିଁକି, ଗୋଟିଏ କଥା ଭୁଲି ନାହିଁ। ତାହା ହେଉଛି ପ୍ରବୀରଙ୍କର ଜନ୍ମଦିନରେ ଠାକୁର ମହାରାଜାଙ୍କର ଉଲ୍ଲାସ। ରାଜା ସାହେବ ଆସି ଖବର ଦେବା ମାତ୍ରେ ଘଡ଼ି ଦେଖି ଠାକୁର ସଳକି ବସିଲେ। ପୁଅ ହୋଇଛି? ହଁ ଠାକୁର। ଲଜ୍ଜିତ ଅଥଚ ଉତ୍ଫୁଲ୍ଲ ପ୍ରଫୁଲ୍ଲଚନ୍ଦ୍ର କହିଲେ, ତାହାର ଜାତକର୍ମ କିଏ ସମ୍ପନ୍ନ କରିବ ଠାକୁର? ତାଙ୍କର ଅନୁକ୍ତ ଇଚ୍ଛା ବୁଝିପାରି ପ୍ରସନ୍ନ ମୁଖରେ ଠାକୁର କହିଲେ, ମୁଁ କରିବି। ପ୍ରଫୁଲ୍ଲ, ଚାଲ। ଆପଣ କରିବେ ଠାକୁର? ରାଜା ସାହେବଙ୍କର ଆନନ୍ଦ ଦେଖେ କିଏ? तांको संगरे स्वयं ठाकुर सूचिकागार प्रवेश पूर्वक स्वर्ण शलाकारे स्वहस्तरे जातकर जिह्वारे दिग्भव बीज लेखिदे बाग्भव बीज लिखिदे जातकर प्रथम संस्कार संपन्न करथिले। फेरी आसी उत्फुल्ल हास्य सहकारे कहिथिले मोर जे केते आनंद हेउछि कोन कहिबि। अरे आज मोर नाचिबाकू इच्छा हेउछि किए आसीछि तुमे तो जानि नह। आनंदर प्रबल्य रे 2-4 थर दोहली गले मध्य तांकर एते उल्लास चापल्य दर्शनर सौभाग्य मोर सेही प्रथम। तेणु सेही हास्य मंडित मुख आज मोर मने अछि सते जेपरि से आनंदरे फाटी पड़िबे। आज पर्यंत तांकर से उल्लास भूली पारि नाही। किए जाने से दिन सेही अजात बोध सद्य जात शिशु मध्य से केउ महती इच्छार संभावना प्रत्यक्ष करिथिले। सेही संभावना कौन एबे फलवती हेब ना दूर भविष्यत रे भाबे से तो तांको भगवान को आम मान भितर मध्य देखि पारंते। सेथिरे केउ भरोसा अछि। बट बीज को से चिन्हिछि से कहे ताहा महामही रूप। जे न चिन्हे से देखे पोस्त दाना परि अति क्षुद्र किछि गोटाए। उभय दर्शन सत्य तथापि गोटिए आपात सत्य अन्यटी परमार्थ सत्य। परमार्थ को जीवन रे रूप देवा ही साधना। प्रभुंकर जदि से साधना थाए तेबे ठाकुरंकर से देखा दिने सत्य हब नहले सबु रहिजिव महाभविष्यत गर्भरे। तेणु से कथा थाउ। जय गुरु।
जय गुरु। Miracle Thakur Nigamananda. I'm trying to summarize what Ma just read. Narayanima here is trying to describe a very heart-touching and important event of Sri Sri Thakur's life during his Darjeeling stay. That was around 1336 Saal, maybe 1929 in the English calendar year. Sri Sri Thakur was suffering from severe chest pain. One night, Ma Thakurani appeared and assured that Thakur's pain would be no more. However, she also expressed that she won't appear anymore. That was so painful for Thakur. Thakur was not able to feel all right then onwards. He was feeling immense pain of the void of Ma Thakurani, who knew that Thakur had to spend the rest 6 more years with that void. In Darjeeling one day, all the Mas were playing a kirtan of Govinda Das, the record given by Raja Saheb. The meaning of the song roughly is when Sri Radha asks Sri Krishna to return from Kunja, Sri Krishna doesn't know where to go and how to go without the love of Radha. And our Sri Sri Thakura, hearing that absolute heartfelt devotional song, became so soft with tears and feelings of devotion. Truly, Sri Sri Thakura is Bhakta Vatsala, Guru Bhakta and Bhagavan simultaneously. Finally, the day has arrived for which Sri Sri Thakura came to Darjeeling. Rani Prafulla Kumari delivered the baby boy, Pravir Chandra Bhansdev, the crown prince of the Bastar kingdom. When Raja Saheb gave this news to Sri Sri Thakura, his joy knew no bound. Thakura himself so excitedly went ahead to complete the Jata Karma birth ceremony of the newborn, saying that Pravir Chandra is no ordinary, he is special and extraordinary. After that, Jayaguru.
Jayaguru.
दिया आहि प्रेममय पाइबी कोने तुम प्रेम आहि प्रेममय पाइबी जीवने तुम प्रेम को कलंकिनी बोली डाकर कलंकिनी बोली डाकर बाजिला बरज दंडरे सीना छाती को पत्थर करी सहिथिला सासु ननंद गंजरा छाती को पत्थर करी सहिथिला सासु ननंद गंजरा से मुरली मने धाई कुंज बने से मुरली मने धाई कुंज बने बीच देखला मन प्राण बीच देखला मन प्राण से भाव दिया आहि प्रेममय पाइबी जीवने तुम प्रेम को से भाव दिया प्रेममय पाइबी जीवने तुम प्रेम को राम प्रेम लिपि कपाले लगी मोह भावे होइले ना राम प्रेम लिपि कपाले लगी मोह भावे होइले ना सही अपवाद सकल विषाद କରିଥିଲା ତନୁ କ୍ଷୀଣ ସହି ଅପବାଦ सकल विषाद କରିଥିଲା ତନୁ କ୍ଷୀଣ ମିଳନ ଆଶାରେ ପ୍ରୀତି ବରଷାରେ ମିଳନ ଆଶାରେ प्रीति बरसारे भीजी थाइला घोर मनकु भीजी थाइला घोर मनकु से भाव दिया आहि प्रेममय पाइबी जीवने तुम प्रेम को से भाव दिया आहि प्रेममय तुम प्रेम को राई विनोदिनी होई पागलिनी पाइथिला देउ प्रेम राई विनोदिनी होई पागलिनी पाइथिला हमको से भाव दिया आहे प्रेममय पाइबी जीवने तुम प्रेम पाइबी जीवने तुम प्रेम जय
Jayaguru, Sansapati Part 1, the conclusion of new edition. Dhanamulam Guru Murti, Puja Mulam Guru Padam, Mantra Mulam Guru Vakyam, Moksha Mulam Guru Krupa. We advise the reader that to awaken the divine power centered within oneself. It is absolutely necessary to take shelter of Sri Gurudev. Sri Guru is eternal, the truth, the perpetual and primordial. He doesn't have birth, purity and death. Hence, he is eternally present. The way he existed before, the same way he exists through Dhamma, image, Rupa, divine play, Leela, and devotees. Sadguru is the embodiment of compassion. He is magnificent. He has left his mortal body. He is still existing in gold-leaf form and then emancipating jivas. Even now, he is engaged in divine play with his devotees by existing in his clothes, subtle and casual body in this world. Even now, and guided them on the right path. His glory is reflected in pure mind. There are 5 states of mind. The unstable or fickle state is called Kipta. Kipta means restless or agitated. When the mind is taken over by the 6 old enemies, Sororitu, and sleep, drowsiness, laziness, resulting in a loss of sense of duty, discernment, and intelligence. And state of mind is called Mudha. Mudha means stupefied or dull. After becoming tranquil or sometime upon reaching a happy or blissful state, the mind reverts to its fickle state due to its innate tendency. This state of mind is called Vikshipta, oscillating or distracted. Out of the 5, these first 3 states of mind are generally seen in common people. One is unknowing thought and remembrance of the lotus feet of Sri Gurudev, or is stable in one's own goal. The state of mind is called Ekagra. Ekagra means single-pointedness. The single-pointed mind is a pure mind. Spiritual practices are needed for reaching this single-pointed state of mind. The fickleness of mind is called vritti. Different tendencies or psychophysical propensities. Chitta vritti is unsteady like the waves of the sea. The single pointedness is the cessation of this vritti. Deploying the mind at the meditation of the lotus feet of Sri Gurudev by withdrawing it from the material world is called single pointedness. The practice of such is called yoga. When the mind is observed in one matter, it cannot be engaged in another. Hence, the sighting of Easter, one's tutelary deity, become easy when one stays connected with the internal entity by any means. God staying in our inner sanctum, experiences every object with the help of mind. Therefore, he is called Antaratma. Antaratma means inner Atma. Hence, the mind is merely an instrument. Atma, the individual consciousness, conducts all the affairs by staying behind the mind and using it as all instrument. The way individual consciousness drives the mind drives all sensory organs. The sensory organs are controlled when the mind is steady. Keeping the mind steady on any internal object is called meditation. Through regular practice, the mind becomes steady eventually. This practice is called sadhana bhajan. These practices can never be performed without instruction from the Guru. For the development of spiritual power, taking shelter of Sri Gurudev is absolutely necessary. With sincerity and earnestness, these practices are performed at Sri Gurudev's direction. Intent, excitement, and then firm determination provide primary support for building the mind and then body suitable for God's service. The key assets of a servant to provide service are steadiness or earnestness or genuine feelings or perseverance. Brahmacharya, which is chastity, is the main foundation for controlling the mind. In ancient times, the parents used to send their children during their childhood to the house of Guru with a view to acquire true knowledge. By staying at suitable Guru's place with observing Brahmacharya indefinitely, they learn how to become obedient through serving the Guru. Nowadays, because of abolition of the true education due to the influence of Western education, the students are not able to lead a disciplined life. Therefore, Sri Sri Thakura has instructed us to lead an ideal householder's life in order to teach self-control as per ideal of ancient saints. When parents lead a disciplined life, their children can have a disciplined mind and vigor. Hence, the householders, while trying to expand their wealth and family, should make a special effort to earn Sat Sampad, the sixth-fold wealth and assets, such as Sama tranquility and Dhamma control, in order to pursue virtuous qualities such as control of body and mind, and forbearance, patience, strength, and moral courage. It is advisable to carry out discussion of spiritualism by joining the company of spiritual people. The spirituality of India, the speciality of India is spiritualism. Hence, spiritualism or Sri Sri Thakura is the shelter of the entire universe. In the ancient times, all activities were done by keeping God at the center. As a result, the mind was remaining peaceful in states of happiness and sorrows rather than getting perturbed. However, in this era, most people are drowned only in their own material thoughts. This is called the whirlpool of selfishness. The only way to escape from this whirlpool of selfishness is taking shelter of Sri Gurudev. The Sevakas, means servants, have an internal relationship with Sri Gurudev. In every situation, one has to realize that he is there. The Lord of our life is present in our heart and mind. Therefore, the Sevakas must proceed towards their goals by accepting Sri Sri Thakura's words as the word from the Vedas. Sri Sri Thakura has said clearly, "Consign all your burdens to me by depending on me. I will do what I would consider good for you." Jayaguru.
Jayaguru. Amara ji, couple of minutes extra achi discussion ପାଇଁ, so hopefully we have some good questions from you, all of you. Aji ଟିକେ recap କରିଦେବା ପ୍ରାର୍ଥନାକାରୀଙ୍କ ପ୍ରତି। ଦଶମ ଖଣ୍ଡ ସଂଘ ସେବକ ପ୍ରଥମ ଭାଗ ଆମେ ପଢୁଥିଲେ। ଆରମ୍ଭ କରିଛନ୍ତି ଆମର ଲେଖାରେ ଯେ ଆପଣମାନେ ଯାହା ଇଚ୍ଛା କରିକିରି ଇଚ୍ଛା ବିଶ୍ୱାସ ଆଶା କରିକି ମନରେ ଥିବ ସେଇ ଅନ୍ତର ଭିତରୁ ତାର ସହାୟତା ମିଳିବ। ଯେମିତି ଗୋଟେ ଅଛି ଶ୍ଲୋକ, ଯାଦୃଶୀ ଭାବନା ଯସ୍ୟ ସିଦ୍ଧିର୍ ଭବତି ତାଦୃଶୀ। ଯୋଉ ପ୍ରକାର ଭାବନା ରହିଥିବ ସେଇ ଅନୁସାରେ ସେ ହେଲ୍ପଟା ମିଳିବ। ଯଦି ମନ ଭିତରେ ଆମେ ଖରାପ ଭାବନା ରଖୁଥିବା, ଅଶୁଭ ଚିନ୍ତନ ବୋଲି ଏଠି କୁହାଯାଇଛି, ତାହେଲେ ତା ଫଳଟା ବି ସେୟା ହବ। ସେ କହୁଛନ୍ତି ଅପର ପାଇଁ ଅଶୁଭ ଚିନ୍ତା ଆମ ମନରେ ଯେତିକି ଅନିଷ୍ଟ କରେ ତା ତୁଳନାରେ ବିଷ ମଧ୍ୟ ଏତେ ଅନିଷ୍ଟ କରିପାରେ ନାହିଁ। ସୋ ଆତ୍ମହତ୍ୟା ଠାରୁ ବି ଆହୁରି ଅଧିକା ହେଇଯିବ ବୋଲି କୁହାହଉଛି। ତେଣୁ ଯଦି ଆମ ଅନ୍ତରଟାକୁ ବିଷମୟ ନ କରି ଆନନ୍ଦମୟ କରିବାର ଇଚ୍ଛା ଆମର ଅଛି, ତାହେଲେ ସେଇ ଟାଇପ୍ର ଚିନ୍ତାଟାକୁ ଆମକୁ ପରିବର୍ତ୍ତନ କରିବାକୁ ପଡ଼ିବ। ଆମେ ଯେତେବେଳେ କଥା କହୁଛେ, ମାନେ we are talking to somebody and ବେଳେବେଳେ ଆମ ପାଟିରୁ କଥା ବାହାରି ଯାଉଛି, it hurts other people, ଜାଣିବେ ଯଦି ସେଇଟା ହେଉଛି ବାରମ୍ବାର ହେଉଛି, ଆପଣଙ୍କ ମନ ଭିତରେ ସେଭଳିଆ ଚିନ୍ତାଧାରା ଚାଲିଛି, ପ୍ରବାହଟା ସେଇଟା ମନ ଭିତରେ ଯାହା ଚାଲିଥାଏ ସେଇଟା ବାହାରକୁ ପଳେଇ ଆସେ। ତେଣୁ ମନଟାକୁ ଯଦି କଣ୍ଟ୍ରୋଲ ନ କରିବେ ତାହେଲେ କହିବେ ଯେ ନାଇଁ ମୁଁ ପରନିନ୍ଦା ପରିଚର୍ଚ୍ଚା କରିବିନି, ଇଏ କରିବି, ସେ କରିବି। ସେ ମନ ଭିତରେ ଯଦି ପରନିନ୍ଦା ପରିଚର୍ଚ୍ଚା ହେଉଛି ସେ ପାଟିରେ ବାହାରିଯିବ। ତେଣୁ ସେଇଟାକୁ ଆମକୁ ସବୁବେଳେ ଦୃଷ୍ଟି ଦେବାକୁ ହେବ। ତେଣୁ ଏଠି କହୁଛନ୍ତି ଯେ ଜୀବନକୁ ଆନନ୍ଦମୟ କରିବାକୁ ହେଲେ ଅନ୍ୟର ଶୁଭ ପାଇଁ ପ୍ରାର୍ଥନା କରିବା ଦରକାର। ସେଥିପାଇଁ ଆମର ବେଦରେ ଯୋଉ ସବୁ ଶ୍ଲୋକ ସବୁ ଅଛି, ତା ଦେହରେ ଦେଶର ଭଲ ପାଇଁ କୁହାଯାଉଛି, କାଳେ ବର୍ଷ ତୁ ପର୍ଯ୍ୟନ ପୃଥିବୀ ଶସ୍ୟ ଶାଳିନୀ ଇତ୍ୟାଦି ଇତ୍ୟାଦି। ସମସ୍ତଙ୍କ ଭଲ ପାଇଁ ପ୍ରାର୍ଥନା କର, ସର୍ବେସାଂ ସ୍ୱସ୍ତିର୍ ଭବତୁ, ସର୍ବେସାଂ ଶାନ୍ତିର୍ ଭବତୁ, ସର୍ବେସାଂ ମଙ୍ଗଳଂ ଭବତୁ, ସର୍ବେସାଂ ପୂର୍ଣ୍ଣଂ ଭବତୁ ଇତ୍ୟାଦି ଇତ୍ୟାଦି ଶ୍ଲୋକ ସବୁ ଅଛି। ସେ ଶ୍ଲୋକ କାହିଁକି ଅଛି, ତାକୁ ଆବୃତ୍ତି କରିବା କାହିଁକି ଦରକାର ନା ମନରେ ସେ ଶୁଭ ଚିନ୍ତା ଗୁଡାକ ଆସିବ। ତାର ଆମର ଯୋଉ ଠାକୁର କହିଛନ୍ତି ଋଷି ଧାରାର ପ୍ରଚଳନ କରିବା ପାଇଁ, ଆଦର୍ଶ ଗୃହସ୍ଥ ଧାରାଟା ହେଲା ଋଷି ଧାରା। ଋଷି ଧାରା ପ୍ରଚଳନଟା କ'ଣ ନା ଏଇ ଜିନିଷ ଗୁଡା ସବୁବେଳେ ମନେ ପକେଇବା। ଏଇ ଜିନିଷଟା ମନେ ପକେଇକି ମନଟାକୁ ଯଦି ସଫା କରିଦେଲେ ତାହେଲେ ଆମର ମନଟା ଆନନ୍ଦଯୁକ୍ତ ହେଇଯିବ। ସେଇଟା ହେଲା ଗୋଟେ କି ଜିନିଷ। ଆଉ ଲେଟର ଡିସ୍କସନ କରାଯାଉଛି ଯେ ସବୁ ଲୋକଙ୍କ ପ୍ରତି ମୈତ୍ରୀ ଭାବ ରଖିବେ। କଥା ହଉଛି ଆମର ଦ୍ୱେଷ ଭାବ ରହିବାଟା ଗୋଟେ ଅସ୍ଥି ମଜାଗତ ହେଇଯାଇଥାଏ। ପୂର୍ବଜନ୍ମ ବହୁ ଜନ୍ମର ସଂସ୍କାର ଜନ୍ମ ହେଲା ପରେ we just build that। ତେଣୁ ବହୁତ ଜାଗାରେ ଶାସ୍ତ୍ରରେ ଆମର ଦ୍ୱେଷ ନ କରିବା ପାଇଁ କୁହାଯାଇଛି। ଗୀତାରେ ତ ବହୁତ ଜାଗାରେ ଅଛି ଯେ ତାଙ୍କର ମାନେ ମୁକ୍ତ ପୁରୁଷଙ୍କ ଲକ୍ଷଣରେ ନ ଦ୍ୱେଷ୍ଟି ବୋଲି କୁହାହଉଛି। ଅଧିକାଂଶ ଜାଗାରେ ସେ ଦ୍ୱେଷଟାକୁ ଲେଖିଛନ୍ତି। ସେ ଦ୍ୱେଷଟାକୁ ମନରୁ କାଢିଦେବେ, ମନଟା ଆନନ୍ଦମୟ ହେଇଯିବ। ତେଣୁ ଏମିତିକି କୁହାଯାଇଛି ଆଧରେ ଯେ ରୋଗ ପ୍ରତି ମଧ୍ୟ ମୈତ୍ରୀ ଭାବ ରଖିବେ, ତା ପ୍ରତି ଦ୍ୱେଷ ରଖିବେନି। କାରଣ ଦେହଟା ଖରାପ ହେଇଗଲା କ'ଣ କରିବି, ହଁ ଦେହ ଖରାପ ହେଲା, ହୁଏତ ମୋର କିଛି ପାପ ଥିଲା ସେଟା ନଷ୍ଟ ହେଇଗଲା, କିମ୍ବା କିଛି ପ୍ରାରବ୍ଧ ନେଇକି ଆସିଥିଲି, ପ୍ରାରବ୍ଧ ତ ମୋତେ ଭୋଗିବାକୁ ପଡିବ, ଏ ରୋଗ ଦ୍ୱାରା ମୋତେ ଭୋଗ ହେଇଯାଉଛି। ତେଣୁ ରୋଗକୁ ଧନ୍ୟବାଦ ଦେଲେ। ତା ଦେହରେ କ'ଣ ହୁଏ କି, ରୋଗ ତ ଆସିଛି ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ କଷ୍ଟ ଦବ, ଦି ପ୍ରକାର କଷ୍ଟ, ଫିଜିକାଲ କଷ୍ଟ ଦବ, ମେଣ୍ଟାଲ କଷ୍ଟ ବି ଦବ। ଫିଜିକାଲ କଷ୍ଟଟାକୁ ଆପଣ କିଛି ପ୍ରିଭେଣ୍ଟ କରିପାରିବେନି, ଅଦର ଦ୍ୟାନ୍ ଟେକିଂ ମେଡିସିନ ଆଣ୍ଡ ଗୋଇଂ ବାଇ ଡକ୍ଟର୍ସ ଆଡଭାଇସ୍, ଦେयर ଇଜଣ୍ଟ ମଚ୍ ୟୁ କ୍ୟାନ୍ ଡୁ। ବଟ୍ ମେଣ୍ଟାଲ କଷ୍ଟଟାକୁ ଆପଣ ସମ୍ପୂର୍ଣ୍ଣ ଭାବେ ଏଲିମିନେଟ୍ କରିଦେଇପାରିବେ ଯଦି ଏଇ ଟାଇପ୍ର ଚିନ୍ତା ଆପଣଙ୍କ ମନରେ ଥାଏ। So that is more or less what this particular Prashna Ganapati discussed. If you have any questions, we can talk about it. ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ ଜିନିଷ ଏଠି କହିଛନ୍ତି ଯେ ମନ ଓ ଶରୀର ମଧ୍ୟରେ ଅବିଚ୍ଛେଦ୍ୟ ସମ୍ବନ୍ଧ ବିଦ୍ୟମାନ। ଯଦି ମନଟା ପ୍ରଫୁଲ୍ଲ ରହିଲା शरीर मध्य सुस्थ रहिबो राइट तेणु मन भीतर चिंताटा को जदि आमे भल करदेबा ताले एगुडा सब धीरे धीरे ठीक हो जिवो दैट्स अनदर पॉइंट दैट इट इज ट्राइंग टू मेक
भाई
जयगुरु भाई कहते
भाई गोटे क्वेश्चन अच्छी
आज्ञा
भाई आमे जो अथ गुरु प्रणाम पढ़ुचु माने स्तोत्र मंदने पाठ पढ़ुचु तार जो श्लोक जाकर सीक्वेंस रे किछि लॉजिक अछि कि कारण आमे जते बेले गुरु गीता पढ़ुचु श्लोक जाकर सीक्वेंस जाक गुरु गीता टी अलगा अछि किंतु आमे जो पढ़ुचु तार टिके अलगा अछि माने माने गोटे किछि लॉजिक अछि से ए सीक्वेंस रो
नहीं भाई मु जानी नहीं तार जदि किछि लॉजिक थिबो एई सीक्वेंस रे ठाकुरଙ୍କ स्थूल देह थिला बेले समस्त स्तोत्र वंदना करूथिले तेणु ए सीक्वेंसटा किए आरंभ कला सेटा मु कोन जगह पढिनी somebody else knows here you can come out and please say it किंतु मैं एतिकी जानी जे ठाकुर स्थूल थिला बेले तांको जो भक्त माने आश्रम रे कि बाहर अन्य कौन जगह गले स्तोत्र वंदना करूथिले एक्जाक्टली ए सीक्वेंस रे करूथिले से सीक्वेंस ताको हमरो मेंटेन कराई छी आ किछ नै anything else
भाई टे लो सुबुची विश्वरंजन भाई आपन को वॉइस
ओ विश्वरंजन भाई कोन कहउछन कि आई डिडंट इवन नो बडपाट रे कोन भाई आउटसाइड वॉइस
भाई आपण बोले पचारछंती कि जो गुरु गीतार श्लोक सीक्वेंस भी टिके माने इज नॉट द राइट सीक्वेंस आपण से पचारछंती कि भाई
I mean, that is what I think it is.
हमु एनएसएम रे किछि सुना जाउनी भाई आपण टी जो सुनी परछंती ट्रांसलेट कर दियंतु
भाई जय गुरु विश्वरंजन भाई बोधे कहउचंती कि गुरु गीता रे भी जो श्लोकर सीक्वेंस अछि से श्लोकर सीक्वेंस भी बोधे ठीक न हो बुझे भाई सेया बोधे कहउचंती नहीं
गुरु गीता रे जो श्लोकर सीक्वेंस टी अछि गुरु गीता एक्चुअली केते 700 800 खंडे श्लोक था देरे ताधरु हमरो 114 टी श्लोक एठी दिया आइछि जे मठर गुरु गीता आपण फॉलो करियो तादरे 123 ना 127 टा श्लोक अछि महानिर्वाण तंत्र तार येटा तार हां सोर्स गुरु गीता जो पोर्शन टा से पोर्शन टा होछि अबाउट 700 सम श्लोक अछि ताधरु हमरो एनएसएस पब्लिश करछि दुगाजन फेसटा करथिले भाष्य करी पब्लिश करथिले ताले से 114 टी श्लोक नै चंती सेटा सेही सीक्वेंस रे अछि गुरु गीता रे मो धारणा आपण जदि मठर गुरु गीता पढ़ियो तादर आउटी अधिका अछि आ 10-15 टा खंडे अधिका अछि कना अधिकांश श्लोक रे कैलाश पर्वतर वर्णना करा हिछि इत्यादि इत्यादि सेडा को एते प्रासंगिक होबनी बोली से सब ओमिट कर दिछनी केवल सिलेक्टेड श्लोक नि आइछि बट माय अंडरस्टैंडिंग इज इट इज इन दैट सीक्वेंस तेणु आमर स्तोत्र वंदना काई सीक्वेंस जो सीक्वेंस अछि काई की अछि आई रियली डोंट नो ठाकुर करथिले बोली भाबंतु anything any other questions other than Guru Gita because we are not getting any answers here we'll try to get it I'll ask some people and see if anybody else knows about this
भाई Jayaguru हाँ भाई दिस आपण एबे जो कहले कि पाठर बेले कथा बाहर जाउची डोली मा कोथली पाठर बेले कथा बाहर जाउची जोटा कि बेले बेले रियलाइजेशन तो संग संग पळे आछि एंड I say sorry. किंतु परे जदि मन कर आसिला how do you remedy that माने maybe a week after or 2-3 days after come how do you just how do you remedy that
तारो मा रेमेडी ता तो सेही एका जिंस धरंतु आपण गोटे कोन कहि दिचंती जनक मन रे कष्ट होईची whoever that जनक is तांको पाखर जाई जदि आपण क्षमा मागियो नै म एटा कहि देली भूल हे गला whether it is right then which has obviously most effect but से समय आपण रियलाइज करिवार अछि बेले रियलाइजेशन हुए नि परे जदि रियलाइजेशन हला either by yourself or somebody told you then going back to that person and saying I am sorry still has a lot of value couple of things गोटे हला तांकर जो नेगेटिव चिंताटा आपन को ऊपर आसी जाइथिला सेटा पळेबो आ गोटे हला आपन को आत्म शुद्धि मार्ग रे चलले आपण निजे सजग रही जे आउ जमती भूलटा मोर न हुए जेहेतु आप क्षमा मागी से मन में गोटे से तेणु आमको सब से चिंताटा रखा दरकार जदि आम जानिले क्या सागर कि गोटे भूल करदे लेट्स बी forthcoming with apologies. Apology is not going to generally is not going to hurt you.
जयगुरु भाई भूल मागिला पर जदि भूल न मिले ताले कोन कर परिबो
मु से क्वेश्चन टा थरे पचार थिले हमर से तळे परिचालक थिले जे सिन्हा भाई थिले तांको पचारते से गोटे सिचुएशन हेतिला हमर इट्स माय पर्सनल सिचुएशन जदि न मिलिला क्षमा ताले कोन करिवे तार दीटा एक्सप्लेनेशन अच्छी गोटे एक्सप्लेनेशन टा बहुत इजी कही दूची बट आई डोंट टू मच रिलाय ऑन दैट सेटा हला जने जदि वैष्णव ठीक वैष्णव हेतिबो से निश्चय क्षमा दबो काइना वैष्णव कर गोटे प्रधान गुण हला क्षमाशीलता गोटे तांकर अंगर भूषण से जदि देई नाहंती ताले से माने ठीक ठीक से वैष्णव भावटा तांक भितर नाही दैट इज वन पॉइंट ता अर्थ आमे we should not be careful. If we know I made a mistake, I have to apologize. And the apology is not accepted. सेठी मते सिन्हा भाई कही जे तुम जाइकरी केन्द्र कुटीर जन ठाकुर पाखे क्षमा मागियो से क्षमा देबे जदि ये दौना कौन करवा डोंट वरी अबाउट इट जस्ट केन्द्र कुटीर क्षमा मागियो सो दैट्स व्हाट आई एंडेड अप डूइंग से जिनसटा को आपन को सब मन रखा पड़ो किंतु आम यदि जाने आम भूल करचे without any question, without any condition, without any consideration, just go apologize. जो भितर से येटा रहा दरकार आम से साहस जदि रही आम क्षमा मागी पारुचे ताहले आमर उन्नति हबार बहुत भल चांस अच्छी जदि आम क्षमा मागी पारुने ता अर्थ वी हैव ए प्रॉब्लम वी नीड टू काइंड ऑफ लर्न दैट गेट ओवर दैट Jayaguru. Amaro Bishamane 30 seconds खंडे. So one other thing I want to point people out जे यही संघ सब आम जो पढ़िले तार टिके 10-15 पेज पर गोटे आर्टिकल अच्छी आनंद स्वरूप प्रतिष्ठित होबार उपाय ये आनंद स्वरूप कथा कहले ना सेठी ताको लिंक करके प्रतिष्ठित होबार उपाय कहिसंती वी रन आउट ऑफ टाइम सो तार आंसरटा इन कपल ऑफ वर्ड्स कहूची जे सेठी कहउचंती यदि चित्तटा शुद्ध होई जिवो ताले सबले चित्तटा आनंद रहिबो सो नाउ यू फिगर आउट हाउ टू डू चित्त शुद्धि दैट हैज लॉन्ग प्रोसेस बट देयर आर लॉट्स ऑफ थिंग्स यू कैन डू टू डू दैट वंस यू अचीव चित्त शुद्धि you will be very happy and that happy is going to be permanent. So with that let's start our young aspirant session. I see it's your turn for Prarthana Sangita when you are ready, ma. Jayaguru.
Jayaguru. Guru Nam Gayana Umananda Rasa Pana Saruthare Mana Kantha Haritu Para Guru Nam Gayana Umananda Rasa Pana Saruthare Mana Sai Mana Niravadi Guru Nama Gare Jagata Janjal Turi Gati Mukti Pare Puri Pamana Kamana Jiva Deva Dhanya Re Umananda Rasa Pana Karuthare Mana Nahi Nahi Jagate Daya Maya Re Guru Bine Na Hoibe Janare Madhuru Madhura Nama Amruta Samanare Umananda Rasa Pana Saruthare Mana
गति मुक्ति विदाता एका गुरु नाम रे गुरु नाम जप तू पूरिब मन काम रे डर नथिब तोर जमर भुवन रे उमानंदर सपान करुथारे मन कंठ हरि तुकार गुरु नाम गायन उमानंदर सपान करुथारे मन उमानंदर सपान करुथारे मन जय गुरु
Jayaguru Young asked, we'll start with attendance and then I will ask IC to explain the meaning of the song which she just sang. Aditi?
Jayaguru ji Aditi or not Pujari nahanti.
Jayaguru. IC?
Jayaguru.
Jayaguru. Anik?
जयगुरु में अनेक जायतला बाहर को फेरे नहीं जाए
Jayaguru. Ansh? Jayaguru. Anshu? Ari? Ashrita?
Jayaguru.
Jayaguru. Jamu?
Jayaguru.
Jayaguru. Timmy? Jagat?
Jayaguru.
Jayaguru. Naitik?
Jayaguru ma.
Jayaguru. Nivriti?
Jayaguru ma.
Jayaguru. Pratyush? Pratyush?
Jayaguru ma.
Sorry,
Jay-
Pratyusha.
Jayaguru Pratyusha. Chandni?
Jayaguru ma.
Jayaguru. Saraswat?
Jayaguru.
Jayaguru. Sarthak? Bobby? Shilpi? Manu?
Jayaguru.
Jayaguru. Jimmy?
Jayaguru.
Jayaguru. Simran?
Jayaguru.
Jayaguru. Shrika?
Jayaguru.
Jayaguru. Suhani? Yukta?
Jayaguru.
Jayaguru. Is there anyone that came in after I called them?
Jayaguru, this is Ansh.
Jayaguru.
Jayaguru, this is Renee.
Jayaguru.
Jayaguru, this is Aryan.
Jayaguru Aryan. Anyone else? Okay. IC, can you go ahead and explain the meaning of the song you just sang?
Sorry. Chanting Thakur's name and remembering him connects us with him, and we know that he is with us. That becomes our knowledge, our experience, and that experience of having him with us always gives us the fearlessness, strength to be on the correct path and complete happiness. Accepting him as our guru and guide helps us to know what is true, what is right, and helps us to be closer to him. He is very kind and loving. He takes care of us. There's nobody like
Jayaguru.
Jayaguru, I think there's a little bit of disturbance on the line, or just some connection issues we're having. But that was another beautiful song. Another one discussing all one ways that we can be close to him, feel him with us, reminds us of how much he cares for us. And that, like the last time that we had the session, we're going to be continuing today to read a little bit out of Sadhguru Swami Yogananda. And it's going to be another passage about what it means that Thakur is our guru, it means to be Sadhguru. And most of this passage, if not all of it, it's a little hard to distinguish. I think this passage includes quotes. Most of it is quotes of things Thakur has said about being guru and the power of Sadhguru. So some of it, I think, is direct translation. Some of it might be might be more. The quality of translation is a bit back and forth. So some things, tenses and things change. So I did try to clean that up a bit, but for the most part, we can take these are things that Thakur has said about it, and we'll go ahead and read that and then discuss what is said about Thakur being guru and his purpose and the power of Thakur being specifically Sadhguru. With that, Anik, would you mind reading the passage today?
Jayaguru, sure. Jayaguru, Guru Nigamanda. When I attained the whole wisdom through sadhana and brought fulfillment of life and came out to distribute that inexorable joy and ecstasy and love, I found all men and women of the world as the embodiment of profound love and eternal beauty. I was lost in the oceanic joy on looking at their splendid and sweet faces. My aim was to share that joy and bliss with others. It was my purpose to flow the stream of the nectar of peace and happiness through the thirsty and suffering heart of the people. Such transcendental feelings came from within. I gave a call to all people to come to me so that I shall shoulder their whole responsibility and kindle in them peace and solace. When I am Guru, I shall not turn away from anyone disillusioned from my door. He may be cruel, sinful, atheist, or spiritually bankrupt, but once he comes to me for shelter and solace, I cannot refuse him. Look, Gurudev can instill the stream of various powers in his disciples. If he desires, he can germinate his immense power in the disciples, even though his vision or conversation or with a single touch. Sadhguru can circulate his power through the disciple by his willpower. Bhagavan Ganguly, the guru of Lokanath Brahmachari, was an eminent scholar. Once he asked his Gurudev, "Why do you keep me so ignorant when you are so distinguished a scholar? Why didn't you teach me anything?" Gurudev answered, "Look, if you like to acquire knowledge by reading books and scriptures, you would be prone to doubts, egoism, and confusion. You need not read books. If you simply meditate on me, you will inherit all my knowledge. Similarly, you will also attain my power and knowledge on meditating the way I have instructed. You can know all these tattvas when you embark on the journey within. I have noticed that just at the time of initiation, many of my disciples have burst into tears because of inexpressible joy. Even many have fallen unconscious as soon as they are initiated. Some of them experience such a state that they can feel and see Thakura in the routine of daily life. They say when they go out for a bath, they feel as if Thakura is going with them. Thakura waited on the bank when they bathe. After it, Thakura also returned with them to the residence. They felt as if Thakura always remained with them and protected them like Sudarshan, the great wheel of immeasurable power. At times, I spoke to the assembly of 30 or 40 people. This is your mantra. It was an initiation for them. Some of them reached such an exalted state that they remained overwhelmed. In fact, this is the special feature and power of Sadguru. Whatever may be the procedure of initiation, the transmission of the power of Gurudev to the disciple must be accomplished. Look, meditation on Gurudev is far more effective and enlightening than the meditation on Istadev, because Ista is not easily seen, whereas Gurudev is present and readily available. God is invisible, but Guru is present in physical form. So you contemplate on the self of Gurudev. If one is attacked and killed by a tiger, he assumes the form of a tiger in the next life due to the ceaseless thought of the awful form of the tiger at the time of death. Hence, if you meditate deeply and tenaciously on the image of Thakura, you will also attain the self of Thakura. One day you will find that you have already owned the fathomless and infinite knowledge of Gurudev. You have also become Thakura. There is no doubt in it. The only thing required is firm and unshakable trust and faith. Jayaguru.
Jayaguru. Before we get into discussion, does anyone have any questions, anything they want translated? Fine. No, if there are questions later, I can ask at any point in time. There was from the beginning here. It's like this last time, this goes into where it talks about what a lot of examples and thoughts on the power of Guru in these paragraphs here. But first, in this first paragraph, he talks about his aim. So, Thakura, we read his Jivan, he attained enlightenment, and he describes what that was like here, and he tells us what his aim is. What does Thakura say after achieving enlightenment? What does he say his goal was, and still is? Nice.
Jayaguru, could you repeat the question?
Yes, in this first paragraph he talks about he achieved enlightenment, and then he tells us what his goal was after that.
Jayaguru, his goal is to share like the joy he got once he attained his wisdom to others. Jayaguru.
Yes, right. So he talks about, we discussed this as well, that ultimate enlightenment, when anyone achieves that, when he achieves that, he talks about it as an inexorable joy and ecstasy and love. That feeling is immensely positive, immensely pleasant, and he says he sees all men and women. The world is the embodiment of profound love and eternal beauty. Everything, it's so powerfully overwhelming. And we've discussed this before when we talked about why we want enlightenment. We've talked about, wanting to go towards what that ultimate happiness is. And he's, in the first couple of sentences, described to us what that feels like. And so his aim is all of that immense joy, all of that bliss, he wants to share that with others, with us, his disciples. And so moving forward from there, when he talks about that bliss and describes that, Simran, what does that bliss that he talks about, that joy that he talks about, that love that he talks about, what does he describe it as? What does it sound like to you? How might you describe what that joy might be like, and what he's trying to spread to us?
He describes his joy as the stream of the nectar of peace and happiness through the thirsty and suffering heart of people. Jayaguru.
Right. We talk about living our lives. There's lives, there's joys, there's sorrows. A lot of us are here or on this spiritual path where, when we talk about thirsty and suffering heart of the people, it's that, we don't always feel joy and peace, but what he's experienced, and all of that joy, that what we talked about, that peace that we discussed in Read and Gita and other things we've described, that's something he's trying to bring to us. And so that is part of his responsibility and goal as our guru for taking this. So then at the end of this, he tells us something really important. Is there any circumstance in which Thakura would turn anyone away, anyone that wants to be his disciple? Is there any circumstance, Jimmy, where Thakura would turn anyone away? Jimmy, are you there?
Jayaguru, can you please repeat the question?
Is there any circumstance when Thakura would turn a devotee or disciple away?
Jayaguru, no. Because he sees if he sees them very devoted to them, so the only thing that's required is the unshakable trust and form. Jayaguru.
Yeah, so the only thing he requires of us to get us to our end goal in this spiritual journey is our unshakable trust and faith in him. But it isn't required. He is he's not going to turn away, even if we haven't perfected that, even if we struggle in our faith or any of those things. He'll still take us in, but he's saying our part in this is that unshakable trust and faith. If we get that, then he'll be able to get us to that enlightenment, give us that immeasurable contentment, joy, all of those things that we seek in the spiritual journey. He can get us there. We need to have that faith and trust, but even if we're not there, he still will take us in. It doesn't matter what we've done. It doesn't matter any of those things. If we ask him for his help, if we decide to be his disciple, to be his devotee, and we ask him for his help, he will be there. And he will be helping us, and regardless of where we are here, he doesn't turn us away. Then moving into the second paragraph, talks about, Guru has many powers that he can instill in his disciples, that Jayaguru can instill in us. So, what powers does Guru have? What specifically does, as I say here, what powers does Guru have? Manu? What?
Jayaguru. It says that he can instill the stream of various powers in his disciples, and he can, give them from himself, and if they just have trust in him.
Jayaguru, yes. So, with just trust in him, he can, through his power, just give us everything that he, through vision, conversation, or touch, through his willpower, he can give us pretty much anything if we have that faith and we can receive that. And then he goes into this discussion between a disciple and his guru. So in this one, talks about this is an example of that power, of what that power can look like in the spiritual journey. So what does it mean when this guru says to his disciple, you don't have to read books and scriptures. You just need to meditate upon himself, or meditate upon Guru, and you'll get all of the knowledge that the Guru has. What is the difference between these two approaches? What does it mean or what is the value of either? When he's saying you don't have to read books and scriptures, you just have to meditate on me, what does that mean for us experientially? And what does that mean for the difficulty of both? How does having a guru and being able to meditate on that guru, how does that make up the path? As he says, books and scriptures, you're prone to doubt, egoism, and confusion. How does having this option of meditating upon Guru and getting that same knowledge, how does that reduce that risk? What does that look like? Is that easier or more difficult? What is the difference between these two pathways that he explains here?
Can you repeat the question?
Yeah. So in this example from the Guru, he talks about the disciple says, "Why do you keep me ignorant? You're a great scholar. There are all these. Why haven't you taught me anything?" And the Guru talks about acquiring knowledge in books versus acquiring knowledge by just meditating upon him. What is he distinguishing between these two pathways? What is he saying is easier, and why he isn't focusing on the learning of books and scriptures with this disciple?
Jayaguru, I think he's basically distinguishing between the paths of bhakta, or love, and jnana, or which is knowledge, and that if you try and learn through jnana, then sometimes it can be that you doubt it, and you might find errors or something, and you might use reasoning that won't help you in your spiritual path. But through the path of bhakta, which is what the Gurudev was trying to do, that's you're wholeheartedly believing it, and so either way you are reaching your end goal of trying to unite with God, understand them, because you're you actually believe it you're doing. Jacob.
Exactly. It's in this journey like that Path of Jnana, we know, we've read about Thakura. Thakura did embark on that journey. It was very difficult. We read about, even though he obviously became enlightened. He perfected that, and but we read about how it was a very difficult path. He was doing all of these readings. He was still trying to figure things out, and even his to we know that it is a very difficult path. If it were easy, then we would have more enlightened people. But we read the scriptures. That is still part of something we do. But what Guru gives us that we can focus on him, and by having that faith in him, all of that knowledge, he's I put it as well. He knows what's in those books and scriptures. He has all of that knowledge. In our faith, in us having faith in him, and really focusing on that aspect of it. And he does know us to read, and we do that, like we're doing here. He will instill all of that knowledge. Through that faith, we can get all of that knowledge, just in this different path. But in the same way, like this example shows, we get to the same place. Then Thakura talks about initiation and how devotees that went through initiation with him can have really profound emotional response to that. And then he describes a state that they're in, where they see him in the routine of daily life. And this is something we've talked about. A lot of you have talked about feeling Thakura with us. So even if these ones he's talking about, people who were he was physically present, and they went through this initiation, and they had these very intense feelings of him being with them throughout their day-to-day lives. How do we kind of have the same mindset? Or have any of you tried or been able to feel Thakura's presence in your day-to-day life? Or what are some ways that we try to have this practice where we try to think of him in our day-to-day life and kind of emulate having this feeling of having him around, or try to be more conscious of this feeling of having him around in our day-to-day lives? That is it.
Sure. I feel like Thakura is present in everything we do. The small choices, the big choices, the good and bad. I feel like, at least me personally, when I'm having trouble deciding, I was like read a Thakura, and then before I make a decision, I think of Thakura, like what he would want me to do for me.
Yeah, you're right. We can, when we're decisions, or when we're going about our daily lives, then we make a conscious effort to think of him and ask him what when you're trying to make a decision, what am I supposed to do here? Or I know some of you have talked about informing him what you're doing during the day, or what you've done that day. Those are things where we consciously make that effort to check in with him and remind ourselves that he's there, and we feel him when we make that conscious effort, and we remind ourselves to involve him in our day-to-day lives. He's there, but making that effort, or reminding ourselves that he's there, and thinking about him and asking for his guidance are good ways to keep that feeling. Gemma, what are some ways we can have that feeling of, we know that Thakur is always around, but how do we keep that feeling alive within ourselves? Or what are other things that you might do that help you feel Thakur's presence in your day to day?
Jayaguru, so some ways we can have Thakur besides us, I know for a fact, I'm in college and things get busy, but I always make, I set 30 minutes aside every Sunday just to listen to Thakur and be present. And so I think that's that's just built into my schedule. I try not to miss it at all, and I don't think I've missed it more than maybe once in the past 2 years, once or twice. And I think another thing that is very important, just since I can't attend morning and evening pujas, is just reading the Bhavishtya Patra. I carry it as my backpack just so that it makes me feel like I have Thakur with me at all times. And so I just read it in the mornings before eating and after showering, and then it just helps me get my day started. So
I agree. That's another really good thing. So I know that's what we can do, which is for those of you that are still at home, morning and evening prayers, that's a built-in part of our day. Those that aren't or enjoying just